Hi, I'm David from Electric Teaching, and I'm going to show you how to program your TI, Texas Instrument Graphing Calculator, with the law of cosines. First, I'm going to show you how to use the law of cosines. So if you're given, I use a different formula here. I use a formula that I don't like the ABC formulas and then it written in triplicate like most books do. So I always think of it as a side angle side given. A side angle side given. And what happens is we get the two sides right here. Here are the two sides. And the angle given is right there, which this is going to be opposite. And that's how I always teach my students, that this angle is opposite of that side on the other side of the equation. This is why I always use this version of the law of cosines with my students, so that they simply look at it as a side angle side problem, and that if they want the opposite side, they can basically plug and chug this. For instance, let's give a little triangle here. If I have a 10 on this side and 20 degrees inside the included angle, as it said, and maybe 8 on the other side, that is a side angle side. Notice I'm not even looking at A, B's, and C's, or what the vertices variables are, or the vertices labels are. All I'm interested in is the students really connecting that it's the opposite side of the angle that they're getting. So if I was to plug this in, I would actually go, okay, side 1 is 10, so, and you can actually mix up the sides, and because of commutative rules, it won't make a difference. Commutative of addition or commutative of multiplication here on the other side. So it's even a situation where you could actually mix them up a little bit and you wouldn't have a problem. So what we're going to get is we're going to get the opposite side squared is 10 squared, 8 squared minus 2 times 10 times 8 times the cosine of the included angle, or the angle opposite of what we're finding, and that is 20 degrees. I always encourage the students to actually calculate this in one shot on the TI-83. So if you pulled up the TI-83, what we would try to do here is, get out of that mode, is we would plug in this formula, okay, 10 squared, 8 squared, so 10 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times, okay, 10 times 8 times cosine of 20 degrees, close parentheses. This would give us the answer for the opposite side squared. And then I would teach them to use the second square root into the second negative sign. The second negative sign, as you can see down here, that's ANS. It's ANS. Okay, so what we're putting in is we're putting in the previous answer. And so the opposite side in this situation is going to be 3.69. Well, since I'm having the students put this all in one shot, it dawned on me that this is a good idea to teach them how to program their calculator. I rather have them problem solve word problems without the cumbersome part of doing the calculations by, or piece by piece, basically, using the formula here. So what I want to do is I want to have them use a program, and if I teach them how to use the program, I really think it gives them a better understanding of what the calculator does behind the scenes, which to me gives them a better understanding of mathematics in general. So hit program button. I have a bunch of stuff up there, please forgive me. Let's go to new. We are going right arrow over to new, and you are going to hit the enter button to select it. I call this program side angle side, so I usually label it SAS. I'm going to label mine just something temporary. Right now you can see that the alpha is locked down. The alpha is locked down with that blinking A. I have to close that ink layer every time, forgive me. So you can see that the alpha is locked down, so you can type in all the letters. You can type in all the letters, sorry about that. So what we need to do is we need to just give it a name here. I'm going to give it, because I already have an SAS program, I'm going to call it mine a temporary SAS program, so I'm going to call it TSAS. So all we're doing is naming a program. You can name it anything you want. So pick a name. I suggest side angle side to remind you what this is. So first thing we need to do is we need to ask for the sides. We need to ask for the sides and the angle in between. So what I'm going to do is go to the program button, that's basically almost dead center on the calculator, okay? And then what you get is all the programming information. You have all the control, the input, output, and then even executing other programs that you've made is available. So what I want to do right now is I want to actually go to the input output. That's what IO is. Prompt is a nifty little TI programming function. I like to use it. It's very user friendly, but just so you know, it's not the prompt you won't find in many other programming languages. So let's see, I need to prompt two sides and an angle. So the way I like to do it is I like to say alpha, alpha key, S, alpha S, comma separated means it's going to ask a couple different things here. I like to use the theta symbol. There's actually a theta symbol on your TI. If you go alpha 3, I think it is, you're going to get theta. That reminds me that that's the angle, so I don't get it confused. And I can't use the variable s again, so I'm going to say comma's above the 7 there. And what you're going to do is you're going to say maybe alpha, another letter, I'll just go to R. I'll just go to R there. So two sides and an angle are given. I'm going to have it calculate the formula. I'm going to have it calculate the formula. I have it actually calculate the full right side of the formula. So I'm basically going to plug this in variables using the ones that we've established. So back to the code. Let's put in s squared alpha s squared plus alpha, the other side is r, alpha r squared minus 2, and since the TI-83 kind of, or all the TIs know basic algebra rules, so you don't even have to put a multiplication symbol in here. You can actually go alpha S, alpha R, and it'll know to multiply all those things. Even cosine, nice and tight, won't be a problem. Here we're going to do cosine alpha, then 3, where the theta is. Close the parentheses. So now we've got the law cosines put into the TI. What we need to do is we need to store it into a variable. Bottom left is STO arrow. STO arrow means store. I'll just store this into X. Hit enter to go to the next line. Almost all programs pretty much insist that, all programming languages pretty much insist one instruction per line. So we've given it one instruction. Calculate that and store it into a variable. So all we have to do is display it. So I'm going to go back to program, dead center a little bit towards the top there. If you go to input output, you'll see a DISP is the third one down. I'm going to select it, and what I want it to do is not display X, but display the square root of X. Second, square root X. I'm going to have that displayed. Close parentheses won't be necessary, but it looks nicer that way. To run the program, you're going to quit, it automatically saves. So second mode, right next to second is mode, which is really going to be then quit. So when you quit it, then you go back to the program, it's automatically saved. You want to execute it, that's what the EXEC stands for. It stands for executing. And you're going to go find the program. I have a lot of programs in here, so please forgive me. I'm just going to cruise up, and there it is. TSAS is the one that I selected. Now when you select it, it puts it on the screen, but if you notice the cursor sitting beside it, it hasn't entered into the program, into the calculator yet. It's just sitting there waiting, so you have to hit enter again. When you hit enter again, it's going to ask the question. Let's put in the same triangle, 10 for one side. What was the angle in between? Oh, it was 20, hit enter. And what is the other side? It was 8, hit enter, and it kicks back the same exact answer, 3.69 for the opposite side. And then from there, you can use law signs to finish it off. So if you put 3.69, or as I insist the students should use, you should really use the A and S as much as possible so that you don't get into rounding error. Because if you keep rounding numbers along the way, you will find your answer off in the end. I'm David from Electric Teaching. I hope this has helped.